Well, how's it going? And welcome back. Today we are very excited because we have our cup of coffee and we're answering your fabulous questions all about the Disney treasure. We came out with a video a few days ago of like our review of the treasure, and we're trying to actually answer your questions as well in that video, but
that was
it was
the plan.
so long.
It's because you guys have some really great
Yes.
questions, like questions where if I was going on the treasure for my first time, I was like, that would have been a great question to ask. So we really wanted to take our time with this. And when we were doing our review, it was already like, I don't know how long, 40-minute video. And we're like,
I think it was almost an hour or
Let's
so.
maybe just do questions
Yeah.
on another video or podcast as we're
Yes.
doing today. So then you can listen to it if you're driving around.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this, our review is actually on YouTube, so we'll link that video below. But we're excited to do this podcast style because I feel like it's just kind of that vibe.
Yes.
You know, answering questions podcast style. I mean, come on. But before we get into it, there's no order on how we're answering these questions. It's going to be completely
no categories.
Random. Let's do this thing. Okay, this is a good question just to start it out. We're mainly talking about Disney treasure, but there's going to be some just general questions in here as well. But this is a good one for the Disney treasure. Okay, here it is. As a first-time cruiser, Disney Wish or the Disney treasure? Okay.
We actually talked about this.
We did.
Yeah, when we got off, because you know how some trips are just tied to memories? We were trying to put those aside because it was a totally different, style of cruise as far as the memories that are with it and the people that were there. And so each trip has us, but just differentiate that.
Just the
cruise, just the ship in itself.
But also we almost have to
take into consideration.
As far as the treasure was 7 days and the wish was 3.
Right.
So we have to realize that because we personally like longer cruises and the wish is only 3 days. So we're trying to get all that aside and just the ship. Okay. So if the wish was a 7-night and the treasure was a 7-night or vice versa, 3 to 3, what would we do?
Yeah. But here's this. They said as a first time cruiser.
Okay.
So I might probably be opposite of you. I would say the wish.
Okay, so the reason why you're saying the wish is because it's a 3-night though.
Yeah.
We just literally talked about it, trying to break that all away.
That's true.
Just the ship.
Yeah.
Okay, so but I guess so what you're saying is we're gonna have to kind of include the itinerary then, because as of right now the wish is only a 3 or 4 night.
Yeah.
And the treasure 7. So I guess we're gonna have to talk about the itinerary.
I think so too.
If it's your first time, I think I would say the wish then, because of just the 3-night. Now, if we're just talking about the ship, I would say the treasure, because I absolutely love the treasure. I feel like for some reason the treasure was like cruising to me. It just had more cruise vibes to me. Okay, I guess.
Yeah. I think that part of it could be just personal preference as far as the style of the ship. No. I get it. I think there's no
straight up. She literally just asked me this question,
and that's what we're doing. Is we are answering. So these are our answers. Because I would agree with you on the treasure as well. It's just more my vibe. Like if somebody had the same itinerary and said you want to go on the wish or the treasure, I'd be like, put me back on the treasure. Yeah. Right now, but. Yeah, first time cruiser, I would say probably the wish because of that. Yeah.
Because the reality is a 7-night cruise is a commitment. And if you don't like cruising, that would be a bummer.
It would.
To spend a lot more money to realize you don't like it by day 2 or day 3. Because reality is some people just don't like cruising. I don't know why you wouldn't. But there are people, we know people, and some of our friends who don't like cruising.
Or you don't know how you're going to react if you get, seasick and you just want to get off.
I may not trust you as a person if you don't like cruising. I'm just kidding. But that's the reality is probably the wish because of that.
Yeah, I would go with wish.
But then it's just would you just go to a different ship? Then there's that question. Why don't you just go on the Wonder or something like that?
Right.
Then that opens up all that.
Yeah, that's true.
So then I go back to are we just talking about this ship?
Right.
Okay. So there's our answer for the itinerary side. Now let's just answer our question for just the ship side. Treasure or wish?
Treasure.
If the treasure was a 3-night, you do treasure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You
there
agree?
You go. Is that confusing? I mean, yeah.
I would just So basically, what we're trying to say is, if you're a first time cruiser, just ease your way in. I wouldn't suggest a 7-night for a first cruise. So
no.
Yeah. But as far as the ships go, we both are in agreement with the treasure.
Yes.
Okay, this is a good one. Very little information available about the adults only area. Can you help? Great question, because there isn't as much out there, I would say. And
for the Disney treasure.
Yeah, for the Disney treasure specifically. I mean, they didn't say that, but we're asking about the treasure.
Okay.
I will say, though,
the reason why there's not a lot out there is because it's horrible.
We did talk about it in our video, so if you want to go and watch that.
No one shows it because no one can get over there because it's so small and packed.
Okay, we're being a little harsh. It's not that bad, but it does feel like you're going back to high school when you go to the adults only area in their pool. And if you don't get there early, they will be like, what are you doing here?
If you don't get an invite to the party, you are not welcome.
Did you read some of the comments of other people agreeing with that?
I haven't read the comments
I thought that was hilarious. So the location of it is all just like at the front of the ship. And so everybody kind of just goes in.
Is it the front or the back?
I think it's the front.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure because they have the infinity pool and stuff. So anyways, we just feel like it's a little bit congested and the layout of it is not our favorite. It's not very open. It doesn't feel very inviting. And then you said just adults only area, not specifically just the pool, but there is actually no like just adults only area specifically on the ship for the treasure and the wish. As far as like when you go to shows and whatnot, they will have a time.
I mean, the pool area is.
The pool.
And so is Cove Cafe.
Yes.
So that's still an adult area.
That is.
And also like the rainforest room. Mm-hmm. You have to be like, I think 18 or older to get that package.
Right.
But you're talking about more of like the spaces, like the nightlife in the ship.
Right. Like when you do shows or trivia or whatnot, there's some things that'll be, you'll see in there, it'll say adults only after a certain time, but it's not like an exclusive area just for
family
adults.
by day, adult at night.
Right.
Which is very confusing, and I don't like it because you're there to, just, have the kids go to the Oceaneer Club or whatever, and you're just hoping to have some like adult time with other adults. And then all of a sudden, right behind you, there's kids running to go to the theater, go see a movie, whatever, because it's still open for kids to be running around.
Yeah, because it's not like a blocked off section like if you've been on the older ships, how they have it, where it's literally when you walk through that area in the evenings, it's just, adults only kind of atmosphere. So, yeah, we talk more about it in that video, but we actually, if you're interested in the wonder and going just as an adult, we'll be doing that here very shortly. So we'll be showing you guys vlogs all about what it's like to go on a Disney cruise as an adult, what it's to offer, because we haven't done this.
Well, actually we have.
Before kids.
No. You're saying what is it like going to Disney as an adult?
Without kids.
We've been adults. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Thank you.
You realize we are adults. Like.
Thank you for helping me there.
Just a dad joke.
I'm just sharing. It'll be our first time vlogging. Just a trip of us without kids on a Disney cruise.
Yes.
So we'll get to experience a lot more and show a little bit more of a side that we haven't.
If you guys have like any ideas or questions or whatever, things you would like to see on those vlogs, let us know because it's just the two of us. Mm-hmm. Just the two of us. And that's going to be awesome.
Yes.
So anyway, but yeah, that's probably why there's not a lot of information out there because I mean, I don't know actually why. That's just my opinion of why. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the whole like Wish class series. So it's funny because I've been calling it the Triton series, which technically that's what the code name was when they were building these.
Oh, okay.
But it really is called the Wish class, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, so for sure the Wish and Treasure, and I'm pretty sure the Destiny, it's going to be like the same thing as far as the adult area stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be like family by day, adult at night. Mm-hmm. The pool area is the only really true all the time adult section,
right?
And it's super lame.
Besides like the spa,
I'm gonna be negative about it. I just don't like it. Now, the cool thing about us is that we're not over there very much anyway because we have kids,
right?
But I think if I was just cruising without any kids, I would be kind of bummed out about it, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Those are my opinions. Some people may hate that, but that's just the reality of it. Now, this is the thing. There's so many areas around the ship that you can kind of adult in because it's super chill. Mm-hmm. So that it makes up for it 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just they don't have like the bigger area on the deck for adults.
Right.
Next question was the ship crowded. Not really. I think with this whole Wish class, they really have done really good at like having a lot of activities going on. There's so many different areas for people just to hang out at. So it never feels like it's busy, even on at sea days.
Right.
Like it was crazy. I was thinking on the at sea day it was going to be completely crowded.
Yeah.
But because there's like different coffee bars everywhere
yeah.
and there you can go out on deck and there's so many different places to go.
I think about the parks with this because there's so many different, they call them like, crowd eaters. So there's like shows to go to, rides, places to eat. You know what I mean? So for like on the sea day, there was the whole like Incredicourse going on where there's like the sports zone and whatnot. So there was a lot going on there. Like it was packed, but then they had like a lot of different, classes going on. So they just, especially with at sea days, I did notice their schedule of events was, pretty packed
and
as far as things to get
usually
people
have
going.
a lot more going on at sea days, but but just like walking around, you would think it would be crowded because of how how many people are on that ship, but
it didn't feel like that. The most I felt like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of people, was after our what is it called? The safety drill on the first day. I always feel that way.
Oh yeah, I mean that's how it always.
But that's
is,
the only time I really felt that.
Literally in just this, your area,
their designated areas,
right? And so when you're trying to get out of there, there's a lot of people. So
for sure,
literally, you're gonna see a lot of people for the, that, and then you're also gonna see a lot of people for the sail away party, and then like you're gonna see a lot of people sometimes like when they have like a show like in the Grand Hall or something like that. But that's kind of it, honestly. Like, I mean, yeah, on a day at sea, on the pool deck when the sun's shining and it's the hottest part of the day.
Yeah,
there's gonna be a lot of people on deck,
right? For sure.
But we still were able to manage to get several seats, like and hang out. I was shocked because I'm like, how are we gonna get this many seats for our whole family? We did because people were like kind of coming and going a lot because there's so much to do all the time.
Yep.
So people will be by the pool deck maybe for a couple hours and they're like, okay, we're gonna go and do a ship tour or do whatever. So.
Yeah. Okay. And then on the lines of talking about crowds, we got a question that said, how are lines for shows? So we went to most every show, I think every night besides one, and we would usually get there, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes prior, try to get our popcorn filled up. And we had a, big group, so we'd all try to get together to get seats. And we weren't by any means in the front, rows, but I'd say like we got decent, really good seats for most shows. And so it wasn't bad as far as waiting in, we weren't waiting in line. The doors were already open except for actually Beauty and the Beast and Moana. There were lines for those two. And those do have multiple showings. They opened one up like matinee showings for those as well to help with that because those were big shows, especially Moana. We got in line 30, 35 minutes for that one. So
yeah, I would say if it's not like a big show that just is released, I would say like if you're there 30 minutes early, you're gonna be able to walk in and probably get like kind of like the middle and maybe like 4, 5, 6 rows back.
Yeah.
And we just choose to kind of get there. Like we've seen a couple of shows before, so we're not like super like we don't need to get front row. Now like Moana and Beauty and the Beast or something like that, if you want to get front row or like that middle, you're probably gonna look like 45 minutes. To an hour maybe.
Yeah.
We got there 30 minutes, like you said, and like we were just fine. We got okay spots.
Yeah.
I mean, actually really good spots.
I thought they were good. Yeah.
Yeah. And 30 minutes. So
right.
But yeah, I mean it's actually interesting though because this is the first time on all the Disney cruises we've done that we've ever had to wait in line for a show.
We've never done that before.
Ever.
Yeah.
And so that is actually interesting. But it's just because it's so new and everyone's all about it.
Right.
And I mean, honestly, like these shows are so top notch. It will blow your mind that you want to go to these shows.
Yeah. Well, I was shocked with Beauty and the Beast because we did that one the night before, I think, Moana, and we were just getting ready to go get in line, and I just see this whole line of people. I'm like, what is going on? I was about to like walk past all of them, and then we're like, oh, that's going to the theater because they didn't have the doors open yet. So yeah, that was new to us. So for sure. But again, it wasn't, like you're waiting 2 hours or anything like that.
It wasn't like a Indiana Jones ride or something like that. But we also get the question quite a bit that if we've seen a show before on Disney Cruise, do we see it again?
Right.
Like, for example, like Seize the Adventure. We saw it on the Wish, and we saw it again on the Treasure. And there's something about it. Like, if there's a Broadway show happening on a ship, we will go see it every single time. Unless I'm with Junie and she's sleeping and I can't see Beauty and the Beast, then I won't. Okay, next question. Would a Disney cruise be fun for a 16-year-old, or is it best to park hop instead? I mean, I think so. I think there's a lot to do for a 16-year-old because you can just be very independent on the ship. Like there's so many places and spaces for your 16-year-old just to kind of have some freedom with. They have like the vibe area where they're going to be able to meet some friends, hang out. The basketball area, like if they're into basketball, was always packed with kids playing. And don't get me wrong, park hopping is fantastic and probably have a lot of fun with that too. But I think they would have a blast.
I do too. I think that's the fun part about cruising is they get like some independence, but then you're like, okay, they're on the ship. It's safe. You know what I mean? So as far as just like doing their own thing, it's easy because Disney has the app with the chat and you can just say, hey, I'm going here. Do you want to meet here? But then you can also, they can kind of have their freedom
feel like
as well.
You can have independence somewhat when you're park hop, but I don't know. If you're like us, it's like it's fun to be with family when you're park hopping and stuff, like when you're waiting in lines and queues and stuff.
Yeah.
But when you're on the ship, it's almost like, you just feel like you can go off on your own, do your own thing for the day, meet up for dinner. What the cool thing about the cruise is you meet a lot of fun people.
I was about to say that thing.
Like,
that same
and you
thing.
can find amazing friends on the cruise because it's like, you're on a ship with all these fabulous people.
And you're going to the same places and you like the same things.
Experiencing the same things, all that kind of stuff. So in a way, it's, I think it'd be a blast for a teenager for sure.
All right. You guys know how much we love room service. So this one says, how long does room service generally take? There were busy times and you could just tell, I don't know, as far as those windows when people would get it, it would take a little bit longer. But I
would say average 30 minutes.
Average, yeah.
Yeah, I would hear 30 minutes quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I was the one ordering. Landon and I were the one ordering. Yeah. It's usually always like 30 minutes, and it usually comes a little bit before 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a little tip for you guys because if you have little ones that just, need milk before bed, we tried to remember to do that earlier because usually she's just tired when we get to the room. So we try to call, be get some milk right away. And if you have not as much items, I did notice it coming faster as well. Yeah. So, yeah.
Next question. How would you rate it 0 to 10 for an adult-only couples trip, would you say? I'm really excited to go on the Wonder because I feel like we're going to be really able to answer this question as just adults going with no kids. But I'll have to say, no matter what ship you're going on, I'm thinking this is just the Treasure, but I would say 10 out of 10. Even though on the Treasure and the Wish, the adult sections aren't the greatest.
And again, that's our opinion.
It's our opinion.
Some people probably
they
love
don't care.
them.
They don't care. But I'm just saying, that is such a small part of the cruise for us because there's so many places to explore. You're going to have fun anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we got asked this question last night. We had a dinner at your sister's house.
Yeah.
And they're asking what's
why
your
do you guys
favorite?
Or even just why we like cruising so
and I'm
much.
We're man, honestly, the food, the shows, the relaxation, the laughs, the memories. I mean, just the things that you don't even think about that happen.
Right.
I don't know.
I just love the convenience of having my room right there. For me, knowing where our dinner's at, what time it's going to be, that is so fun to me. And but exploring different things. And then also having the ability to travel and see, this time around, we've never been to Jamaica. We've never been, to some of these places and get to visit different places we wouldn't think of going. But then you also have your home base, I think is so cool. And if it was just Justin and I, we would be able to book more, excursions. There's so many cool things you can do. So as far as adults go, I think it'll be fun for us to do this trip so we can kind of share with you guys just a little bit more of an insight in Disney cruising as just adults. And, is that something that you would really enjoy?
Well, and I'm
is
saying
it worth
here,
it?
it says, and for couples, I would say
Couples, yeah.
The reason why it would be fun for couples is because you can do your own stuff, you can be together the whole time, or you can just kind of go off and do your own thing, come back for dinners, because you can link your reservations. And you'll have dinners together if you request all that kind of stuff. Anyway.
Right.
And then share about your experiences. So what do you do today? And this and this. And that's why I think it's so much fun because, you don't have to think about because if you went on a couple's vacation somewhere else, you have to book, where you're going to be. You have to think about what you want to do for dinner, all that kind of stuff. And you're having to think through all that all the time.
Guessing work out.
And it's fine. It works and it's fun. But this is nice because it's like you already know where dinner's at. You're going to a show. You already have it all. The nightlife already kind of planned. You have the same itinerary. So you're like, hey, I want to go see this Indiana Jones show. Like it takes all like the guessing work out of it, and then you can just be a couple and just hang out with other people and just have fun.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, definitely 10 out of 10. But I am excited not to have kids for this next cruise to really just experience just adult. So I'm excited to do like another Q&A off of that. But yeah, 10 out of 10.
Okay, this one says, do you pre-book all of Junie's trips to Small World Nursery, or did you find it was easy to drop her off as needed? So we did both. I don't think we had any booked prior because we didn't have specific things that I knew we would need it for, like if we were going to go to Paula or whatever. But it was really fairly easy. We didn't actually get turned away. I think there was one time I called from our room and said a certain time, and they said, oh, we can't do that, but we can do this. And it was like 30 minutes earlier or later. I'm not sure. But so we made them usually on the spot. You can call from your room and check first thing in the morning. And if you just kind of look at your day and say, hey, we're going to plan on doing this, I would call the nursery and then get that spot. So they charge, by the hour. So you can just, figure out what works within that for you. But it was fairly easy. No issues as far as, oh, we're booked today. I never got that.
Yeah, I would just say if you do have, you had reservations to somewhere, like to book in advance.
Yes, I would do that
because there's always a chance that it will be filled up.
It could be.
For us, it seemed like our time, it always worked great. But there is that chance. There was one time on the cruise where the kids area filled up so much. And they notified us. There's no reservations for Oceaneer Club or anything like that. But they notified and said, hey, by the way, like this is the there's it's like there's a ton of kids in here.
Yeah.
So they had to bring in reinforcements. The guys with like the white coats were like helping the staff at the Oceaneer Club because it was so packed for whatever reason that night. I don't understand.
Yeah,
but
in the nursery and the kids club.
Everywhere.
So the person that was over like all of the events, what is their title? I can't think of their name.
Remember.
Yeah,
like the activity coordinator.
Activity director. Yeah, she was even in there. So
was it Carly?
Yeah, Carly.
Yeah, Carly was in there like sitting down with the babies, hanging out. It was cool to see.
It was.
Was the inflatable in the Hero Zone just up the one day? No, it was up several days, and it's definitely on the itinerary as well. So you can kind of see. I don't know how many days it was up.
I'm not sure.
But I feel like it was a good amount.
It was. Yeah. Because I noticed it there a couple times because there was times the boys were like, "Can we go play basketball?" And I remember seeing like, "Oh, they've got the inflatable up, so basketball is closed."
But again, this was a 7-night cruise.
Yeah.
On like a 3-night, I don't know how many times it's up, but for this cruise, it definitely was. What was your favorite lounge on the ship? What was your favorite lounge?
I liked the Skipper's Society. Yeah. I just felt like it just Adventureland vibes and Jungle Cruise, which is like my favorite. It was so cool.
I think the Skipper Lounge is cool because you feel like you can just walk in and walk out. I feel like the Haunted Mansion parlor was like it's more of an event.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you feel like when you're in there, you need to stay a little bit longer because maybe it takes a little bit to get a spot.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Right.
So but I really liked the Periscope Pub.
Yeah.
I think that was my favorite. I don't know. It's really hard. I would go Periscope Pub or Haunted Mansion parlor for sure.
Yeah, definitely check them all out, especially the Scat Cat Lounge. That was really pretty, and if you love listening to the piano,
that was a good one too.
Go in the evenings, and they had so many different things on the schedule for just different themed nights of the piano playing, so that was really cool. And then I did get a question here. Actually, I think it was on our video, and somebody said, do we need to make a reservation for the Haunted Mansion? You don't need to make reservations for that at all, but do know it was always busy when we went in there.
Yeah.
So it wasn't anything where there was a line outside the door that we experienced, but it's hard to find a spot sometimes during the day.
Yeah, we did get some questions because when I went in there, someone was like, man, it looks like there was no one in there when Justin went in there. Like, what time was that? That was at 11:30 at night.
Yeah, they're
so
almost
the
closing
lounges
time.
close around like midnight. And so I was like, I'm just going to go in there. Like Lacey was asleep with the kids. I'm like, I want to do some more exploring. And yeah, it was 30 minutes to close. There was no one in there. So if you want to just check it out and just be able to take it all in, possibly go, around 30 minutes before close. Maybe I just got lucky.
Yeah.
But it seemed like there was no one in there.
Somebody asked, do they give magic wands as in the Wish? That was one thing that was different. They didn't hand out anything.
No, I was hoping they'd hand out like a compass or something.
I know.
I wanted a compass.
I know.
But
I think that would have been cool to continue because that was so cool for the Wish to do that, right? When you come in to have like the kids be part of it because it was interactive in the show cool. in a sense for the sail away party.
Best restaurant and why? I think we talked about this on a review, and I think, what was yours?
Well, I mean, if we're comparing, we've been talking about the Wish a lot. Right off the bat, we liked Coco better than Frozen.
Oh, okay. So yes, for sure.
We did like that. It really is preference. Because I ran into one of you guys, a viewer on the ship, on the Treasure, and they were actually disappointed because they were hoping they wanted the Frozen show rather than Coco because they've got little girls. Some people really do love that. So I think it really is preference. But I mean, again, these are just our opinions there. But I really love the Avengers like this time around, Worlds of Marvel. I don't know. I love the menu. I like the experience
You
there.
like the second round of it, though.
I did, yeah.
And that's not on the Wish.
That is not.
So that's what's cool is like the Treasure is there's more days. So, they're able to incorporate other, shows for dinner and menu items and stuff.
Right. So
I wonder if the Wish will ever be
on a
longer itinerary.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because they do like a fun show. It's more Guardians of the it's Guardians of the Galaxy style, and they do like music trivia and just different things like on the wall trivia along with the thing in the middle. Like I don't know the name of it, where you push the button, and I don't know. It was just really fun. I thought that whole night was really great.
I honestly like 1923. I liked On the Wish. I like On the Treasure, and it's just because it's just low key. And I'm all about having a show and all that kind of stuff, but I'm also I just like to have dinner and just have a conversation and get to know your waiters a little bit, all that kind of stuff. And I feel like you can do that there. The waiters seem so busy on the Worlds of Marvel night and also Coco night because they have to get things out at a certain time because they have to be part of whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that's why everyone's more laid back. 1923.
Yeah. I love that one too. Yeah. I do agree with you. They're all great, but
and then it's just the menu too. It's like the menu is so good, and I don't know. It's hard for me to like pinpoint what my favorite one is because I like aspects of every restaurant.
Right. Well, with that, we've got this question: what was the absolute best food item?
Oh my gosh, that is a very hard question. You stumped me. Congratulations. I don't know.
There were so many good items, you guys, and I think that was one of the things we talked about with my sister and brother-in-law was the food is so
the chips and salsa at Coco.
Shut up.
Those were terrible. We talked about that on our review.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know why.
The chips and salsa at your sister's house yesterday was so much better. I know. Anyway.
But it sticks out in my brain, so I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's just my favorite one because it sticks out so much. But it's that peppered steak at the 1923 that we had on the first night. We had it in the Wish amazing. On Embarkation Day. It's just, I could eat that, oh my gosh, every day. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, yeah, there's not a lot of like bells and whistles to it, but it's just like, it's perfect.
Yeah.
And it's served with like, I think a little bit of, asparagus or potatoes, but it was just like, I mean, everybody ate their plate clean that night.
Yeah.
That's a great dish.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The pepper steak was fantastic, but it is really hard for me to like pinpoint a dish because a lot of them were amazing.
Everybody knows yours. Just share it. It's the pizza.
Oh man, I mean, I don't know.
Every day.
It's not even that great a pizza. Like, to be honest.
I know.
You know what I'm not really excited about with the Treasure about the pizza though?
What?
They had like no specialty pizza.
I know. We talked about that.
Like the Wish did. I'm pretty sure the Wish did.
A special of the day.
Yeah. I know like the older ships do. They always have a special today.
Right. Did we miss it?
No.
I mean, I was going to say you were there.
Dude, no. They knew me by name.
Okay.
Like, I knew them. Like, we would just like talk in the morning, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. Like, we would talk.
After dinner. Yeah.
But, like, they had one thing that they could dress it up with, like, I forget what was on it, but, like.
Arugula or
yeah,
something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was the one thing every day, but there wasn't, like, a pizza of the day.
Okay.
And I'm like, dude, that's why I'm excited for the Wonder, because they have at least I think they do.
I remember them old ships.
Do they take it away? Have you guys sold the old ships? Because we haven't been on the old ships for a while. Mm-hmm. Let us know. Do they have a pizza of the day? Mm-hmm. Because they've already taken it away from room service. Mm-hmm. There's no more pizza on room service, and I hate that. Yeah. So yeah, let me know, because I would be really bummed if there's no.
Oh, I do.
Pie of the day.
I do have a favorite room service item, but I'm sorry, I cannot. I don't even know how to say the name. It's on our vlog, but it was like a pizza, like a bread. And it had like different cheese on it. I feel like there was tomato.
Was it called like the pry? What?
It's on our vlogs if you guys watched them, but
let us know below. Okay. You guys probably know, but that was really good.
That was awesome
for sure. Next question is, share your souvenirs. Well, I'll tell you what I didn't get is a sweatshirt, and I'm still really bummed about that. Mm-hmm. No, we got like mugs. We got this.
If you're watching,
yeah. I mean, we didn't go like crazy this time. I feel like
no. I got a really cool hat on Castaway Cay.
Yeah.
Like a sun hat.
Yeah, that's
that
true.
was really cool. And
we got like Little Mermaid
stuff for
toys.
Juniper. Yeah.
We also got like an inaugural sailing pen. Mm-hmm. Actually, Lacey didn't even know we got that.
I did not.
And she was like, we have it in our studio pinned up, and she's like, when did we get this? I'm like, on the treasure.
And then I got a sweatshirt too. I got like a Disney Cruise one. Not this one, but anyways.
Yeah, we didn't get like too much. Mm-hmm. So we did good. We actually did good on this one.
Mm-hmm. How was doing a 7-day trip too long or just right? We talked about this as well, and something we really did like about the Wish, even though it's short, is we were able to pair it, because it was a shorter cruise, with going to Disney World, and we really did like that. But 7 days, on a cruise, we were just like, that's just, it's pretty long to do, a long time in the parks as well, because when we like to go to Disney World, we don't go all the time, so we want to, get enough time there as well. So I don't know. I feel like my sweet spot with cruises is like more the 5 days. I did enjoy the 7, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I feel like, especially if we're going to Florida and if we, are going all the way there, we like to do the parks too. So we're just kind of thinking, I think our sweet spot is a little bit more on the middle side, like in between a 7 and a 3, but they go to the parks too.
So this is where I'm at. So I absolutely love longer cruises, but I'm with you. If we're in Orlando, like it's hard for me just to go to Orlando without seeing the parks. Mm-hmm. And so when it's a 7-night, it's a long time, especially when we go. It's usually we're trying to arrange it around the boys' school schedule. Sometimes we're still taking them out of school. Mm-hmm. And so if we do choose to take them out of school, that's a long time to take them out of school. Mm-hmm. And so it's just what happens. Okay. So, cause we like to go to Orlando when it's cold here. Okay. Right. So yeah, that's the thing. If you do a 7-night, we usually don't go in the park, and that's a bummer. Yeah. So I would have to agree. I think it would be more of a 5-night. Yeah. Because I feel like if it's a 5-night, we would still go in the park.
Mm-hmm. Again, if you love cruising as we do, I feel like the 7-night it wasn't too long. So it was still, too long. No, it's still great.
So I guess if we're just talking about cruising in general, 7 nights is definitely not too long. But if you like to go to the parks, maybe it is too long, but maybe it's not. I guess it depends on your schedule.
So this one says, how are the kids clubs unique and how can they be different from other ships? So the kids club on the Treasure was exactly the same as it was on the Wish. And yeah, there was nothing different except for they had a different theming like around the kids club, which we loved. It was really cool. So on the Wish, it was all like Alice in Wonderland on the outside of it. And this one was Jungle Book. Mm-hmm. So like the carpet was all like leafy and they had Jungle Book pictures and even up going around the slide was leaves. It was really cool. So that was different. But the club itself was exactly the same as the Wish, but the Wish in this series we've been talking about, what is it? Now I'm getting Triton series.
It's just the Wish series.
The Wish series is
all the Wish class, I guess.
Okay, Wish class.
Wish something.
Yeah, but those are very different from the older ships as far as those clubs go, because you said how they're different from other ships, and those ones are a lot different than this new series.
I would say with the Wish class, the clubs they're just, they're more updated. They're higher tech,
Yeah.
But I don't know, they're all so cool. Like our kids love all of them. Like it doesn't matter if it's the old ship or the new ship. They have memories locked in all of them.
They do.
So.
Yeah, because I think of the older ones, I think about the Slinky slide. They love that. But
absolutely.
This one has a slide, but this one has the Star Wars area, and you've got the Avengers area. They've got this, beautiful area for like doing, if you have kids that love art, and they've got tables out, and it's all themed princess. So they're so cool, and there's so much for them to do in there. So they are definitely unique in that aspect, as they've got different just stuff you can do in each one, but they're all like connected too. So it's really cool.
Would you recommend it to people who have sailed on the Wish, wondering how different it is? If you like the Wish, you're gonna love the Treasure.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
Someone asked favorite ship. At first I was going to be like, man, the Treasure's going to be our favorite ship. And I think it is an amazing ship.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really excited to get back on the older ships as well. Because there's something about the older ships.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's just something is about it. But I absolutely love the Treasure.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had to choose to go on the Treasure, or if I had to choose to go on the Wish, again, I would, even if it was if the same itinerary, they were both just like 7 nights, I would choose the Treasure. If it was 3 nights, I would choose the Treasure. I would. Over the Wish, I would.
Yeah.
Hands down. Now, if I chose the Treasure or an older ship, I don't really know, actually.
Yeah.
Because I really do like the older ships.
Right.
I miss them, actually.
Yeah.
It's like almost like we're going home next month,
I miss you. I would say I'd like to go back on the Wish again, just because I feel like I didn't have enough time to appreciate everything in it. And I feel like with the Treasure, you really get to appreciate, we talked about this a lot in our review, the art and just all the different sections, all the different thought into things. Do the tour if you haven't done the tour. And Justin shared, he went on and he got to share so much insight into it. And I feel like I would love to just experience that a little bit more in the Wish. That's why I'd want to go back on there, because it's so fast.
Now, would we go back on the Wish? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a 4-night and we want to pair it up with an Orlando trip.
Right.
That's great. We would probably do that. DCL question, have you ever been late on a final pay? If so, what happened? We've never been late on a final payment. I don't really know what would happen. I think you would lose your reservation. But has anyone else been there? Like, comment below. Like, let's use this. Like, if you're listening to this, head over to our YouTube channel and use the comment section as like a discussion board. Have you guys experienced that before? What happened? We've never experienced that. We usually just pay it on time or whatever. So I don't know.
Were there any new activities on the ship that were different from the other ships? They did have some new ones. And a lot of them, you could tell they themed it with the Treasure and just, kind of adventure kind of feel. So there was, interactive like Jungle Cruise show they did in the Grand Hall. They had a Aladdin one. We actually never even didn't see that one, but because, there's Aladdin theming. So a lot of new shows we've never seen before, but then they also brought back, like they had the Jack Jack Diaper Dash. They still did that. They still have the classic like animation drawing classes. They have the classic trivia. So you have all of those, but there were a lot more new shows, like game shows as far as that goes. I'd see on the itinerary. I was like, whoa, what is this? I've never seen this before. So
they had like the villains game show. That was kind of cool. And so,
and the Indiana Jones show we went to, that was really
awesome.
Cool. Like you get to decide his destiny, and then the audience interacts with it.
But a lot of the onboard activities are pretty similar to other cruises, like the trivia and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, there was definitely some different ones that we haven't seen. Like the Indiana Jones was fantastic.
That was fun.
So, are you planning on going on the Disney adventure? We are going May 2026. We love your vlogs. Oh, thank you for watching.
You guys are going.
That's amazing.
That's crazy. I keep thinking, I'm like, man,
I know
that's coming soon. I feel like that was so far. Last we talked about the adventure.
Yeah. I think we're probably going to be doing the Destiny. Well, I know we're going to be doing the Destiny before we do the adventure.
Yeah.
But it is on our list.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think we might, after the Destiny, take a break from the Wish class and go back to the older ships and do the Dream, because we have yet to do the Dream.
Yep.
And our boys are like, let's go, because they're excited about the space, because the spaces in the Dream are really cool, the kid spaces.
They are. They've never seen them.
So
Yeah.
I think that's what we'll probably do. That's kind of like our goal, if you will.
Plan. Yeah.
Like Destiny, then Dream, then Adventure.
Yeah.
But who knows? You never know. You know.
So this question says, how long did dining take? Young toddlers and curious how they will do. So we understand it is hard, traveling with toddlers, and especially with the meals. I would say they did take about, what do you think? 2 hours at least, right?
It really depends.
By the time you come in and leave.
If you know what you want, then you can sit down, get it ordered, and it's going to be faster.
And our group was how many people? We had 7, 8 people in our
and
group.
That's another thing.
So if you have a bigger group, it'll take longer for sure.
So it's hard for me to give an estimate. We're the kind of people that the dinners are a time for us just to chill. Mm-hmm. We don't look at the menu until we sit down. Mm-hmm. And then we're like, what are you going to get? What are you going to, it
it's
just takes us a while. It is.
We do, but.
But if we wanted to just go crazy and ham and get fast at it, we could probably get out of there in an hour.
I don't know.
I don't know, though.
I don't think so.
Because if it was 1923, but if it was the other shows, then
you're going to miss
whole
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just long. It just is a long thing.
So, I would bring, if you guys, do iPads or games, something like that, just to help, just to kind of with those times. They will bring out the kids' food sooner. So that helps too, because usually by the time they get there, they're hungry, they're ready to eat. And then, bring little things for them to do, if they have little toys or, some things, I've seen some people bring the sand. It sounds awful. It's not messy though, but you know what it's the kinetic sand. That's really cool.
You can also have your toddler go into the nursery. Mm-hmm. We've done that before. I don't think we did on this cruise, did we?
We didn't, not during the meal.
I think we were thinking about one of them, but we decided not to.
Yeah.
So that's an option as well.
Yeah.
Just to just book the time,
right?
And,
and get them dinner. Somewhere else, and
that's just the reality.
Nursery. Mm-hmm.
If you do decide to do an iPad, some people are down with that, some people aren't, and it's just your opinion on that. I would just recommend to make sure you have a lot of things downloaded on the iPad, because you're able to access the database of all the Disney movies through the app and stuff, but sometimes it's just it doesn't work.
It's really slow.
I ended up having the internet package because we needed it for our business and stuff, get back with emails, and I needed it, so that was fine. So I had that, and actually it worked really good to stream Disney Plus or whatever on there. If you're curious about that, how the Wi-Fi package works for streaming for that kind of stuff, worked great. So we had that for the dinners. We really try to use that as the secret weapon at towards the end. We really try just to kind of, she's with everybody, she's coloring, we have a couple of things, they have the dinner. When she's done eating, that's when it gets a little bit rough.
Yes.
And it's okay.
Yeah. But then we can take a little break because then dessert will come.
So it's, yeah.
Yeah. But you just kind of have to break it up.
Yeah.
It is.
It's a good question, though.
Yes, it is. Okay. So this one, Justin, you might have to help me because you're better in this area. But they asked, what time does Disney Transportation leave port for Disney resorts or disembark? They have different times, I believe, but they'll let you know. Because we've done it where we did all of our transportation through Disney, but we went to the airport this time before we've gone to a resort.
I honestly, I don't really know. I was trying to figure this out because I was hoping, okay, let's just talk about this time. Okay, we just went right back to the airport, and I was looking for an email, saying when we need to be off the ship.
Right.
There was no email. So I'm like, you know what? We're just going to take our time. We're going to be at the airport for a long time anyway. So worst comes to worst, we'll just figure out a way to get to the airport. No problem. So we just took our time getting off the ship. We ended up going to Marceline Market. We took our time. If you didn't watch that video, it's our last vlog. We'll link it below. But we just hung out and we got off the ship when we wanted to get off. I mean, obviously you can't be there all day,
right?
But
yeah.
And they're loading people up on Disney Transportation.
Right.
It was just they just constantly had
them
bus.
going constantly.
So that was no problem.
Right.
Now I cannot remember when we went to the beach club after the Wish.
I do remember it was early.
I think we did get an email.
Yeah.
I think we got an email saying like, this is your time to get off.
Right.
But I don't know. Does anyone else know?
Right.
But this is the thing. If you don't get an email, you're probably good at just getting off whenever. But if you really want to be sure, you can go to guest services and ask them about transportation. They have all the information you need to know. So don't freak out. If you're like, oh my gosh, did I not get an email? Is it in my junk? I can't find it. Just go to guest services and they'll get you squared away.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I just remember we came out and you see like just loads of buses and they were just rotating. It was like these ones were for the airport and they asked you which ones. And then they had ones going to resorts, you know, because a lot of people do that afterwards as well.
So this question, do you need to book a couple days after your port to get your body adjusted to land again? So we actually always like that. And that's why like 7 nights is great, but you know, honestly a 5 night or something like that is cool because then we feel like we can get to the parks and actually have that land time. I think it does better, especially for Lacey.
Yeah,
like
I don't do well.
She doesn't do well
going
getting
from ship to plane.
No, and I think you felt it. Again this time when we went to the Wish. You know, I
did great.
You did great.
Yeah, because I went just we were in the parks for a couple of days, like 5 or 6 days before flying.
Now it wasn't as bad as it used to be, but you still do a lot better.
I do.
So if you struggle with that kind of like dizziness or like any of that kind of stuff, if you can stay on land for a day or two, we would recommend that.
Right. I think we're gonna maybe close it up here, but like we said, you guys have so many questions, but I don't know. We'll see if there's one more. So this is a great question. It says, do you need to tip when you go to a table service restaurant, or is it included? So I know that's always a question some people get because it always feels weird when you go to the table service, and you're having these great meals and great service and then you just leave. But you can do all your tipping prior to boarding your cruise. And then you also, at the end of your cruise, will have little envelopes they give you and it'll show like, how much you paid in advance, and you can put them inside your envelopes on the last night. So you do not have to tip every single night at every meal. It's all kind of, in full done prior to your trip. So that is nice. Yeah.
I do have a couple more questions.
Okay.
I keep on reading them. I'm like, this is good. This is good. Is the Treasure 7-day really worth spending more on versus the Wish 4-day? We're a family of 6. I guess this is what we do. Okay. Divide it up per day. How much does it cost per day? So you take the whole cruise, divide it up by 4, divide it by 7, whatever, and see kind of like what's cheaper, per day. It's just, and that's kind of how you look at it. It's like, okay, it's like staying, in a hotel another few nights or at a resort another few nights. Cause that's what it is. I mean, it's just like depending on how long you want your vacation, how long you want your resort stay.
Right.
Is end of the day. I mean, if you just want to get a taste of cruise life, then just do the 4-night. But end of the day, we absolutely love longer cruises. And this is why, okay? Maybe this will help. I just know for us, it takes us a few days just to get in vacation mode. From just like, work and routines and rhythms and life, it takes a few days to kind of like unwind.
Yeah,
and I feel like when it's a shorter cruise, you're just starting to kind of unwind and get situated. And then if it's a 3 or 4 night cruise, you're off. Now, if you're pairing that with the parks, your vacation is still continuing, so you're good. So thinking about that, like, are you going to be able to really just unwind? Do you, I guess that's what it is. Also, it's the budget too, obviously. So I guess consider all of that when you're making plans. But if you just want to get a taste of cruising, a few nights, great. The 7, though, was so cool because you were really able to just like feel like you didn't have to do everything all at once. And I feel like with a 3-night, you're trying to do everything because you want to explore and experience it. But a 7-night, you're like, oh, we got time.
Yes, absolutely.
So I don't know. Okay, this one's very important to me. Okay. Last one. Okay, we're going to end with a bang. Where can you get refills on popcorn buckets? I'm just saying, it's a great question.
It is.
So it's actually the same place you buy the popcorn bucket, and it's at Preludes, which is like the concession stand before going in the theater or the movies or whatever. Yeah. And you can just get your popcorn there. But seriously, one of my biggest tips is get the souvenir bucket the first day of your cruise because your popcorn is very cheap after that. Yeah. And then after dinner, go back to your room, and kind of get ready for the nightlife. Grab your popcorn bucket, fill up your popcorn, go to the show.
Yeah. And go watch, like Funnel Vision.
And don't tell me you're too full. I believe you have a second stomach. Actually, you have 3 stomachs. You have your main stomach for like your food. You have a dessert stomach, and there's a popcorn stomach. I 100%, and maybe for me, there's a pizza stomach too.
And we didn't even do the movie theater, like going to the cinemas to watch a movie.
Yeah, because we were planning on going to the movie because we wanted to see live action. Yeah, Mufasa. But they actually showed that
the first night in the Walt Disney
actual
Theater.
Walt Disney Theater.
Yeah. So we never did.
So big.
Yeah, go to the movie theaters. But there's another reason, because you can refill your popcorn. And do that.
I would say that actually, if you have the opportunity to see a movie inside the Walt Disney Theater,
sometimes do that. Yeah,
because it's a way cool experience because it's so big. Mm-hmm. And we've done that twice now. We did like Star Wars, I think, one time. Mm-hmm. So sometimes they do that if it's a bigger movie or it just came out.
New release.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was cool.
Okay, guys. I honestly don't know how long it is.
And we didn't even get to all the questions, but thank you guys so much for the questions. They were fantastic, and sorry we did not get to all of them, but keep watching some of our videos. Some of them I think you could answer if you watch our review of the treasure. So like we said, we'll link that below, so check that out. We have B-roll throughout it too, so you can kind of see things we talk about. So check it out.
Yes. And if you're listening to the podcast, thank you so much for listening. Give us a review on Apple Podcasts especially. We'd appreciate it. And guys, we're leaving on the Disney Wonder out of San Diego in just a few weeks. So look for that. And again, if you have any questions or if you want to see something for like an adult-only cruise, let us know because we're very excited to do that.
Yeah.
But we love you guys so much. Thanks for supporting our channel. We really appreciate you all. And thank you for the questions, guys.
Yes.
Seriously. All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.